All right, for more, we're joined by energy analyst Roger Lilley. Mr. Lilley, thank you for being with us. So this is an incredibly large figure, nearly 18 billion rand, the loss here for Eskom. But given where Eskom has come from, given in comparison to what it could have been, is there good news in that figure?
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me to your show this evening. Look, the utility has a long way to go to get out of its financial bind, simply because of the enormous debt load that it carries. Over 400 billion rands worth of debt has a very large repayment amount every year, and that's eating away at the revenue that it receives. I think we must remember as well that during this time, revenue has decreased. The amount of sales of electricity has decreased somewhat, and that's because of the economy that's in decline.
Okay, so you're saying, put it into context, is there still an outstanding proper fix, if I can put it like that, where the debts are taken off the books? Some have argued that government should deal with that and let Eskom actually float, otherwise it will always be sinking under this debt burden. It's just not sustainable, given that it's also trying to advance our power in the future as well.
Well, one way or another, it's going to be paid by you and I, the electricity user. Whether the central government decide to pay it off and release Eskom from it, or whether Eskom has to pay it off from the revenue it receives from the sale of electricity, either way, the money comes from from us, from the taxpayer and the user of electricity. So it's a bit of a moot question. It doesn't really make much difference. Yeah. We're not going to find outside funding to pay off a debt of that size when the debt indeed is owed. That's it. So we owe that money to lenders, and we need to pay it off. But I don't think government should write it off or take it on themselves. Eskom took responsibility for the loan for projects which it's frankly mismanaged in the past, and this is where we have found ourselves, and Eskom has to resolve the problem itself.
Yeah. What do the financial results tell you about the current Eskom management?
Well, fortunately, I think the current management team are to be commended for the amount of effort they've put in pulling the power utility into its current state. But it's not a pretty picture, and I think that although we must commend the new management team, they've had to pick up other people's mess and fix it, which is never easy. Nonetheless, we are in a situation where Eskom is likely to remain in this financial bind for some time to come. The solution surely will be the private generation of electricity as the restructuring of Eskom moves forward.
However, the CEO is talking about sales going down. So Eskom is always in this paradox. It makes revenue off electricity, but sometimes it tells us to use our power sparingly, basically not to use its product. And if there's more independent producers, what does that mean for Eskom's revenue generation in future? Indeed,
it'll be facing competition. It's already facing competition. Because as large manufacturers, some of the car companies in South Africa, for example, and others have started generating their own electricity for their own use, which means that they're not buying it from the local municipality or from Eskom directly. Hence, Eskom is already noticing the loss of sales, and unfortunately, with the latest developments, with the amendment of the Electricity Act, more and more private generation is going to come on stream. Eskom is no longer the single buyer, so a large company or farm or mine could start manufacturing electricity and sell it surplus to other users. It doesn't have to sell it to Eskom, which could then sell it on. So Eskom is going to certainly feel the pressure from these competing generators. However, it needs to do that because it is high time that the older coal-fired power stations get closed down. You know, these things are old, they're at end of life, they're costing a fortune to maintain, they are polluting the atmosphere. Really, we need to shut them down, and the only way we can shut them down is to supplement the overall supply from the private sector.
Yeah, pollution, a whole new discussion as well. Thank you for your analysis there, energy analyst Roger Lilley.